Oh, back on. Yep. Well, I might as well start off with how it was nice to hear Buck Owens. I'm old enough to recall watching Hee Haw when I was a little kid because my parents wanted me to watch it. My parents were Hicks from the Sticks, so of course they liked country music. Uh, he and Roy Clark were really big on that show, and that was a time where I saw red, white, and blue guitar well before the band Nirvana did it. So as the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun, just new versions of old ideas. And I also know Buck Owens for being name checked in a CCR song. Why not? It says a lot about him as a performer if he gets name checked by somebody else.
Good catch. Which song?
Let's see. Do, looking out my back door.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty close to the title.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. I didn't have enough time to confirm it in my online search because I found out, oh, I'm next. I like researching to see that I am correct about these things. In the age of the internet, there's no excuse for being wrong. I've been at, I remember being at a bar one time and somebody pulled out their phone because they wanted to win an argument about how old Sandra Bullock, the actress, is. Yeah, it can get pretty serious on some of these bar arguments. Well, now for the regularly scheduled jokes. It's still going well at the bank job. In fact, it was pretty cool this week on my day off Thursday that I sent off to Christmas cards to family. And the third item I sent was a form to the test scoring company saying, no, I'm unavailable, got hired by a bank. And yeah, they're going well 6 months and counting. And in fact, I guess it's going so well that I got another gift card. I was looking at the inner office mail that came this morning. It's like, this one's addressed to me, not just my department. It's like, oh, I should really be interested in opening this. And I did. And there was a Christmas card in there from one of the business lines that I help out on overnighting their checks by UPS. And there was a gift card for Subway in there. It's like, yeah, I eat. There's a Subway. I'll use it. I guess it comes down to when I will use it. I know another thing was for me and my two cohorts. In fact, that's even how the card was addressed. And then there were mini candy bars. And it's like, well, I'll have somebody fill in for me for one day next week. It's my last day of the year. So I think I may want to let them know, hey, there's something for all of us. Maybe I should leave some behind for you, even though you're working from home right now. I feel like it's fair. It's being accurate, full disclosure, whatever. At least with one of my cohorts. The other one is on maternity leave. So, yeah, I'm sure she doesn't want to be bothered with most things about work right now. I know that sometimes when I'm out and about doing chores and errand running, I guess most of the time I see it as working just fine on getting in, getting out without saying much to people. I think that's why it works well on doing self-checkouts whenever they're available, like at grocery stores. Because I know, unfortunately, sometimes making some off-the-cuff comment leads to more conversation. I know that night where I went to a liquor store because it's like, well, I was just having beer while performing. Maybe I should have it for spotlight events like Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. And I was saving up quarters, and then I said laundry money, because, that's the other reason why I use quarters. And then the clerk said, well, no, I want liquor money. And it's like, yeah, I guess that one I didn't hoped it would. So I had to explain myself a little further. And yeah, much like anywhere else, I'm picky about what I like things in the discount bin. And they have that at the liquor store in my neighborhood too. So why not try different things? when they're available, especially if they're cheap. I mean, yeah, to each their own, I guess is the best way of wording it. And yeah, that was one of the errands I did tonight. And then the other one was pick up a few items at the grocery store. And I do like pictures wherever I'm at. I know I have to be careful with picture taking. I know I've covered that before. I probably talked about how I almost got badly hurt at the Hemingway home because of wanting pictures and then going downstairs when I hadn't planned on it. But no, I try to be discreet about that with pictures. And if there's something I like, I want a picture of it to remember it. And in this case, they had a display of poinsettia flowers. I mean, appropriate for the season at the grocery store I went to, Cup Foods. And there's a cool sign next to it. That's why I wanted the picture. It said, rule of thumb, if you need a coat when you're going outside, your flowers do too. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to put up such a sign. But hey, some people are dumb. So I understand why they have to put up the sign. I mean, just like with legal disclaimers on things, because they don't want to get sued. I learned that in a law class on why they have that on everything. Because lawsuit happy society. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yes, the day off Thursday. I am the type that I just hate being idle. So I still have to schedule things, get things done on my day off. Because if I'm idle, all I'm thinking of is, oh, I should be at work. And at this time of day, this is what I'm normally doing at work. So that meant more chores and errand running. Go to Walgreens. Yeah, I leave the S off. Let me have that one. And as I probably pointed out before, they have those archival photos up in those stores that prove that it was once known as Walgreens, leaving off the S. So, hey, it's accurate. On Wikipedia, they said archaically known as Walgreens. Stopped at Walgreens. I like that store a lot. And then when I got home, I said, well, yes, there's a Zoom lecture that I wanted to do with the American Historical Association. When I was cutting back after I got laid off 3 years ago, I said, I am still keeping some of my memberships, and that's one of two I kept, along with the Loft Literary Center. And it's a pretty good thing to do, having some of these Zoom lectures, because I hadn't been to their annual meeting in a while, because, hey, you need plane tickets and hotel rooms if you're going to go to that. And the one that they had this past week was about plagues and epidemics. And it did remind me of one of the classes I took in order to graduate as a history major. It was plague narratives. One of the plague narratives we covered was in the Bible, the Passover plagues. They didn't cover that in the Zoom lecture, but they did cover one that is largely forgotten now, smallpox. And I don't know why it's forgotten other than it was a while ago, and you don't even hear much about vaccines with it. I mean, it's not a seasonal thing like flu is or anything like that. But they did cover the more recent epidemics too, like 1918 flu and then polio in the 40s and 50s. So got to feed my need for history, I guess is one way of wording it. That was also why I did one on a Saturday not too long ago. That was with the Pacific branch of the Historical Association. And it's like, well, if they're going to cover Asia, that probably means the Philippines, because America owned the Philippines for a while. And yes, they did. Where something about after the Philippine-American War, forgotten by the American history books, where some type of epidemic was a perfect excuse for the military taking over a water supply. And I guess you still sometimes hear that. People use certain things as an excuse for changing things. That happened with 9/11. That's happened with COVID, too. So, yeah, none of this is really new. Kind of like Will Rogers making jokes about how people expect presidents to change the world, and then people forget they're not dictators. They have to work with Congress. Every 4 years, people think that a presidential election means that everything's going to be perfect. It's like, wow, people have unrealistically high expectations out of politicians. It's like they're people, same as everybody else. They just want to get elected. Still doing the movies on the weekend. Not much else to do that I'm aware of. The Red Box movie, I'll admit, left a lot to be desired. I watched the one called Batman starring Mel Gibson, and I should have known that with a premise of a rich kid wanting to assassinate Santa probably was a bad premise. I didn't like the movie as much as I had hoped. I guess there was some reason why I wanted to watch it. I'm still trying to remember why. But there was a song in it that I like. I still like the music in movies. In fact, it's the original version of Angels We Have Heard on High, which was a French carol. And then a French Canadian way sang it. So it's like, hey, cool. I can do some of the translation from French that I tried to learn when I was in high school, but didn't become fluent in. And then I watched some of the DVDs I'd already bought many years ago, like Frosty and Rudolph. Why not? And I know another thing I did that's virtual was a spiritual service on Facebook. And I want to remind people that I grew up in a church, Presbyterian, where we had a slight variation on the Lord's Prayer. We said debts instead of trespasses. I know most people say trespasses, and yeah, I know that churches are different. That goes back to Marty Luther and the Protestant Reformation. I get it. Unfortunately, somebody tried to make a joke about it, and the dude was always riffing on me even before the pandemic. It's like, blocked! Yeah, I have no problem doing that anymore. If people are annoying, I'm going to do it. I mean, time and place for everything, and I don't want to be on all the time and don't want to be around people who want to be on all the time. But I digress. I guess that's some of my best jokes is the most annoying things. There's probably more material I can get out of that one. I'm just trying to think of what. Kind of like the Sorry Not Sorry thing. I know I was helped by that one a lot on the feedback I was getting from that. More ways I can go with that. Now, I did listen to Donita Ulevato's song of that name. Pretty good. It was directed at her haters. And it's like, yeah. So that'll do it for me. Thank you. You've all been great.
Yay! Big round of applause for Lyle Larue.